Hey there, my name is Lindsay with Competitive Edge Sport Therapy, and in this video we're going to talk about why cracking your neck or cracking your back hasn't helped you so far. So I see a lot of clients and I talk to people who it seems like they lay down to do an exercise or they go into a stretch and then they feel their back crack and they go, oh great, that's awesome, I'm done. And then they stop doing the exercise after 10 seconds or 20 seconds because they feel like the goal of the exercise was to get something to release. So they think the crack means that they accomplished that release, so therefore they're done. And I have to tell you, if you feel a crack, if you feel something move, and as long as it's not painful, awesome. You're loosening up the joint, getting it to move in a different way, that's great. But that does not mean that you've finished that exercise. The goal is not necessarily the crack that you hear. The goal is to loosen up other soft tissue like the fascia and the muscle and everything else. So keep doing that exercise as long as you're supposed to. Remember, the goal is not the sound. The goal is not the crack. The goal is to be able to move better. The second thing I want to talk about is cracking your own neck or back is not the same as what a chiropractor might do for you. When you crack your own neck or back, you tend to hear the sound come from the joint that already moves well. So therefore it's easy to crack. So you're taking a joint that moves well and then you're encouraging it to move even more. And if you keep doing that often, you're leading to some joints moving way too much. And then the other joints that are actually stuck, stiff, restricted, maybe they're slightly out of alignment, they continue to stay stuck. So you're really sort of making the problem worse by not targeting the right spot. What a chiropractor does is they're able to find which level, which vertebrae needs that adjustment, and they're very precise in how they do it. So just know that what you're doing to yourself is not as precise, it's not the same thing as what a chiropractor would do for you. And on that note, an adjustment or a crack is not the only way to get a joint to move better. There are different methods, different approaches, many that are a lot more gentle, that don't involve that forceful movement, don't involve the sound of a crack. So if you don't like the idea of someone cracking your neck, just know that that's not the only option. There are many different types of therapists that perform things like joint mobilizations that ease the joint into that movement in a much more gentle way. It should never be painful. So remember that the crack is not the goal, it's just a sound, it's just a byproduct of something that's happening. And that crack might not necessarily be what your body needs. So there's all sorts of other things going on in your body and with your spine other than just the joint movement. So maybe it's one of the muscles that attaches onto the spine that's holding things really stiff and stuck or slightly out of alignment. So maybe you need work on that muscle to either help it work the way that it's supposed to so it can support things properly, or to get it to chill out a little bit and relax and not be so tight. So maybe the problem is the muscle and not the joint. It could also be a problem of your dura. The dura is the tube that runs around your spinal column inside of your spine, so all the way down. This tube that goes from, sort of blends with the membranes through the skull, comes down from the back of the skull, all the way down the spinal column, all the way down to your tailbone. And whenever you move your spine, it needs to be able to move up, down, rotate. So if it gets tight and sort of sticky, it can't glide, meaning it holds your whole spine really stiff, and then it can lead to the nerve roots being a little bit irritated, feeling sort of like stuck and sore, even numbness tingling out into an arm or a leg, that sort of thing. So dura is something that is very, very overlooked. People don't talk about your dura or even know that it exists a lot of the time. But it can have a huge impact on how your spine moves and even just like whole body tension. When your dura is really tight, your whole body feels like stiff and stuck and creaky. So speak with a therapist that knows a little bit about that and can eliminate it or treat it if it is part of the factor affecting you, your neck, and your back. So what I want to encourage you to do is, if cracking your neck or cracking your back hasn't helped you, just know that there's so many other treatment approaches out there that might work for you. Please, please don't give up after trying to crack your neck, whether it's you or a professional that's done it and it didn't work for you. First of all, everything takes time. Nothing is going to be a quick fix, a magical cure in one. So give it time, but also you might need to experiment with different approaches, different treatment techniques. There are other options other than just cracking your neck out there. So what I invite you to do is click the link below. It'll take you to our website and you can fill out a form to request to speak with one of our therapists here. And don't be afraid, there's no pressure, there's no obligation. It's just going to be a very casual conversation about what you're experiencing with your neck or your back, how it's bothering you, how it's affecting your life, and the therapist is going to give you some insight into what it could be, why it's bothering you, and why cracking hasn't helped, as well as, just a recommended treatment approach of what they think is best for you. And then you can take that information from there, make an informed decision of how to feel better. But above all else, please do not think that you have to live with this kink in your neck or this pain in your back for forever because cracking didn't help. There's so much out there that can still help you, so don't give up, just keep trying other things, and I encourage you to reach out and speak with one of our therapists. That's all I've got. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day.